Hello, welcome to Rupa's online tutorials. Today I'm going to tell you about a very important chapter, class as basis of computations. So this chapter is what is taught in the 9th ICSE syllabus, and you have to remember this throughout your learning of Java. Because here we are going to teach the basics of how to write the programs in Java. So let us start with this. So here you can see tokens. Tokens are defined as the individual elements in Java. The smallest individual element in Java is known as tokens. There are 5 types of tokens in Java. Those are keywords, literals, identifiers, operators, separators. Okay, so these 5 are the main tokens in Java. So this you have to remember, and you have to know the definition, the example, and how to use them in your programs. That is very important. So here I'm going to discuss about all these things. Please watch the video till the end. If you like my video, share and subscribe to your friends and family. It will be useful for them also. Now let us look at the definition here. What are tokens? As I said earlier, they are the smallest individual unit in a program. The 5 types of tokens are keywords, literals, identifiers, operators, and separators. So we will go one by one, learn the examples and understand what it is. Before that, whenever we are learning any programming language or any language for that matter, let me say I'm going to learn Kannada, then I have to learn AIE, I have to learn the Kagunita, I have to learn small words, then I make some sentences, and that's how I learn a language. So that's how we here also, once you know these words, their meaning, and why we are going to use them in this particular way or not use them in the particular way, because some of them have the rules in them, then you become very confident when you're writing the programs. And even if you make errors in the programs, it is very easy for you to find out the mistakes. Okay, so let us start our learning of tokens now. So keywords are those words which have a special meaning to the Java compiler. So the word key means it is something important. For example, if you take the lock and key also, we know that without the key you cannot open the lock. Likewise, keywords are words which is given by the language itself. That is, when I install the Java software inside my computer, then itself these words are having some meaning to it. So using these words only, we are going to write those programs. These words have some meaning and they are having some rules also. So the first rule is they cannot be used as identifiers. I'll tell you what are identifiers. So identifiers are the names given to the various programming elements. We'll come to that in more detail in our next slides. So here keywords cannot be used as identifiers. That is rule number 1. And rule number 2 is they are written in lowercase letters. Lowercase letters means small alphabets, that is small ABCD. So these words, there are around 48 to 50 words in Java which are reserved as keywords. Okay, so examples here I have given: int, class, void, if, for, public, static. So as you are practicing to write the programs, you will become familiar with it. And in your editor, in your BlueJ editor, if you see, these keywords will be having a different color in it. Maybe like they are in red color. So whichever color is set in the editor, but then generally it is in the red color. So you know that it is a keyword. Hope so this is clear. Okay, the second important token that we have is known as literals. So literals are tokens which have fixed values. So fixed values means these values are constant. They are not going to be changed. That's what it's meant by fixed values. So broadly they are classified as 5 types. So first we have integer literals, real or floating literals. That means both are same. We will take an example and look at these literals. And then we have character literals, string literals, and Boolean literals. So these are all asked for 2-mark questions in your board exam. So each word which has been put here is important. We can take it as a notes also. So this is very important. They may ask you what are literals for 1 mark, and they may ask you the difference between any of these 2 types of literals. Now we will see what are these types of literals. So here, if you see the example that I have given integer literals. So integer literals are those which are going to take whole numbers. That means it is not going to have any decimal number. It only has whole number or it will not have any fractions. So if you see this example, I have put here 12. Okay, I have put 12 here. But if you see this number, it is 45.67. So there is a decimal number here. So these numbers will not have any decimal point or fraction in it. No exponents, no decimals, and no fractions. And if you see here, I have a 0, 7. So you may wonder why a 0, 7. Because once the number starts from 0, that means it is a octal number. Octal numbers have base 8 and the digits in this system is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Please remember that. So to differentiate from the decimal numbers is the normal numbers that you read in maths. That is from 0 to 9. But here we are having a octal number, so it starts from 0. And then if you observe here, we have a 0x, small x and a capital X. This is actually the hexadecimal number. So the hexadecimal number has a base 16 and there are 16 numbers in the system. So hexadecimal numbers, they start with 0 and they are going to be up to 9, and the 10th number, because 10 again cannot be written, so we write A as 10, B as 11, C as 12, D as 13, E as 14 and F as 15. Okay, because we start from 0, we will not put 16 as the last number. We put 15 as the last number. So the three types of integer literals are your decimal, your octal and your hexadecimal. So there are three types of integer literals. Now next we will talk about the real or the floating point literals. Here these literals are defined as those literals which are having a decimal number or a fractional part, or it can be a exponential part. So here these can be classified as, if you are taking the data types, they can be classified as float data type and double data type. So the main difference between float and double is float has around 6 digits of precision in Java. Now what I mean by 6 digits of precision? See, 6 digits of precision means, for example, if I am going to have a number here, let me put 12.456789. So up to 6 digits, it is going to give me correct value, accurate value. After that, it may or may not give, depending on the system. But 6 digits are correct to the point. And what does the double value do? Double will take 15 digits. Okay, after the decimal, 15 digits will be precise or accurate. This is clear. And next we have the character literal. So character literal can be defined as a single character which is enclosed in a single quote. So these are the single quotes and here I am putting a character. So this is a character literal in Java. Yes. So here if you observe, I put a capital letter. That's also fine because it is in single quotes. And here I have put a 4, which is a number that is also a character literal. But the one thing you have to remember here is the character literal, you cannot use it for your mathematical calculations. For example, you cannot put this as 4 plus 5 and you cannot expect the answer as 9. Because this 4 will be considered as a character and not a number. So in case of, like, if you want to put some roll number or phone number where you're not going to do any calculation as per se, then you can use it as a character literal. And next we come to a string literal. Now string literal is defined as a group of characters. Group of characters means a set of characters. It is not one character as we see in character literal. So here you have H and then E and then L, L, O. So you are having different characters here, isn't it? But they are enclosed in double quotes. If you see here, they are enclosed in double quotes. So they are known as string literal. So this is also an exam question. What's the difference between character literal and string literal? Then you have to write character literal contains one character or one single character with enclosed in single quotes, whereas the string literal has a group of characters enclosed in double quotes. You write this example, you get 2 marks. Assure. Okay. Next we will go to Boolean. So Boolean literal No confusion at all. Boolean literal, there are only two values it can take. One is true, another is false. Yes, so these two words are actually known as reserved words because they cannot be used in your normal programming contents. You cannot declare them as a variable name or anything function name. They are reserved for Boolean literals. Hope so you're clear about literals. So the next token that we are going to talk about is very easy. You can see an identity card here with a small child's photo. You will be seeing your identity card also, which they give you in your college or school, wherever you are. So the identity card, what it says? It says your name, your father's name, the place you're studying, which class you are in, what is the phone number, what's the address, what's the section you are in. Yes, so it's telling a lot of things about you. It's telling giving the names of different people out there. I mean, your father name, mother's name, the school name. So similarly, here also in simple terms, identifiers are the names given to the various programming elements. Now, what do I mean by programming elements? So if you see it here in the bold, I have written here. So you have the variable name, the class name, the function name, or the method name. Yes, the object name, the array name, they are all your identifiers. The different names that you give to your programming elements are known as identifiers. This is the definition you should give. In the exam, they will ask you this. What are identifiers? Please tell. They are the names given to various programming elements in a program. Okay. And then we have an example here because okay, we have an example here. So here it is int num. Then we have student OB. So this is a data type. This is a variable name. Here we have student, which is a class name, and OB is the object name. And main with two parentheses, so it's a function name. And then we have int again, and but with a with a square bracket. So that's an array name. And then we have class, table, etc. That's a class name. So here, as you are learning the language, as you are going to write more and more programs, you will find this very easy and simple. Okay. But while writing these identifiers, we have to follow what? Yes, what you all love. Rules. Yes, you all love rules, isn't it? You have to be on time for your assembly. You have to do this. You have to do that. A lot of rules we follow. Here also we have to follow the rules so that we get perfect program and perfect output and perfect marks. Yes, so everything seems to be perfect. We'll make it perfect. That's another thing. Anyhow, let us look at the rules for naming the identifiers. Identifiers can begin with a character, underscore, or a dollar symbol. They cannot begin with a digit. So what do I mean by that? They can begin with a character. That means I can have an identifier like this. Okay, I can just say num because it's just beginning with a character. I can even put a capital NUM. That is also fine. Okay, that is also correct. And it can begin with an underscore. Underscore symbol, you can use the shift key and one next to the plus sign. That is the underscore symbol. So here I can say underscore A. This is also a valid identifier. And a dollar symbol. So the dollar symbol is found on the number 4, on top of the number 4. Okay, so shift plus 4 will give you the dollar symbol. And if you write a variable name like this, $n, this is also correct. But they cannot begin with a digit. So I cannot write like this, 1 num. This is wrong. Okay, so this is the first rule. You should remember that they should begin with a character, underscore, or a dollar symbol, but they cannot begin with a digit. The next rule is Java keywords cannot be used as identifiers. So I told you keywords are special words with special meanings. So I cannot say class. I cannot say int class because class is a keyword. Is it clear? So you have to be careful while giving the names for your variable names and all. As a general tip, I would say give meaningful names. For example, you are going to calculate the sum of two numbers. Give the variable name as int sum instead of just giving int A, int B and things like that. It's easier to type A and B. But then if you give a meaningful name, when you are looking back at the program, it's easy for you to know what the particular variable is doing there for you. There should not be a blank space between the identifiers. So what do I mean by that? If I'm going to write, for example, average marks, I cannot have a blank space like this. I cannot write like this, average marks. Okay, in between I should put the underscore symbol. So there should not be any blank space. Yes. Rule 5, 4, it says identifiers are case sensitive. Case sensitive means uppercase and lowercase. Whenever you encounter this word case sensitive, because all the functions and all, they are case sensitive. So you have to learn a lot of why I'm putting this correct spelling, why it is not working. Because in Java, it says that, if you observe this example here, HELLO, it is small letters, and here capital letter HALL, only the H is capital here. So why is it not working? Because here it is in small h and this is in capital H. So there is a difference. Java says this is different. I don't understand what you have written. So what is happening? It says that you have declared this somewhere, you have not used it somewhere. All these errors come in your program. So whatever variable name you are going to give, for example, if you're going to give the name as say int num, okay, or hint a, small a, then in somewhere in your program, if you say capital A is equal to 10, it is going to give an error because it is telling this is different, this is different. It is not able to recognize. So when you are naming the variables, you have to use the same name everywhere. That's what is important. That's what the rule says. And there is no upper limit to the number of characters on the identifiers. That means you can have any number of characters, 100, 200, 300, though it is senseless, you can have any number of characters in Java. Now let us look at some of the valid and invalid identifiers, some examples. So here if you see this is the identifier name. Now you have to tell me whether it is valid or not and the reason if it is not valid. So here you have num, a, b, I, average. So these are all valid identifiers because they begin with a character. Next I have one digit. So the second rule says that it should not begin with a digit. So it is invalid identifier. Then you have two names here, but there is an underscore here. So it's a valid identifier. And then we have class, if, for, all these are invalid identifiers because they contain they are all keywords, okay, which are having special meaning. And here you have underscore book, which is again a valid identifier. And then we have average marks, and you can see there is a space here, a blank space. So this is invalid identifier because blank space is between the identifiers. And then we have some more here. You can see this. I have put a hash symbol here. So this is again an invalid identifier because it cannot begin with any special symbols. And small a is again valid. And if you see here, capital PI, it is also a valid identifier. But generally we use these capital letters, complete capital letters, when we are declaring constants. So constants, you can use the keyword const, C-O-N-S-T. And when you say const pi, for example, the value of pi never changes. It's always 3.14. It is not going to change. So you are going to declare that variable with a capital letter. So you can declare normal variables also as capital, but as a convention rule which has been followed, if you are going to declare any variable with a capital letter, it is considered as a constant by many of the programmers. So you keep it in mind, and then when you're declaring the variables or the function names or the class names, just give meaningful names for those words. Because I had students who used to name all this with the movie names they liked. You know, they like the movie names, the actress name, the actor names. They used to name the variables like that. But the problem with it is when you're initially learning, yes, experimenting with all this is fine. But if you are going into real programming and when you want to really do your projects or professional way, then that's not a nice way to do it. So in the beginning only when you're learning the program, you learn it the right way. It becomes easier for you to remember and write it in the exam. And some of the students were like, oh ma'am, we will do it later. See, this later doesn't come at all, I'm telling you. When you're practicing, practice it right because that is how you have to learn. Okay, now we will go to the next. So now we're going to talk about the next or next token, that is operators. You can see in the picture, we have a telephone operator, mobile operator, the cable pack. Yes, that's what comes to our mind when we say operators. So here we are not talking about those operators. We are going to talk about all the symbols that we use. In maths, you would be learning, isn't it? Plus means addition, minus means subtraction. So those are the different operators that we use in maths. So here also we are having, apart from those maths symbols, we are having other symbols, logical symbols, bitwise operators, and then assignment operators and shift operators. So that's what we're going to learn. Operators is also a very important concept. Please learn it throughout and be thorough with it. So what are operators? The different symbols used in programming for specific action is known as operators. So the symbols that we use, for example, here I've given the plus symbol, the modulo symbol, the ampersand symbol, etc. So all these symbols that we use in our programs when we are writing, those are known as operators. There is one more term associated with operators, and that is known as operands. So then you may ask me, what are operands? Operands are the values or data that are manipulated in an expression. Yes, so in simple terms, you just remember operands are the values, operators are the symbols. So if you take this example here, I have given 10 plus 5. So here 10 and 5 are known as operands, and this plus is a symbol which is known as operator. And together this 10 plus 5 is known as an expression. Okay, so if the expression is of the same data type, that means we are having a 10 and 5, both are of the type int. Just I was telling about integer literals, they are whole numbers, numbers without decimals. They are known as pure expressions. But if you are going to have, say, 10 plus 5.5, for example, then what happens here? There is a integer number and a decimal number. Then they are known as mixed expressions. Okay, so now we'll just see the different type of operators in Java. So broadly they are classified into the following types. We have unary operators. So just check out the spelling. It is unary. Okay, some students write it with an R in between, which is bad, which is not correct. So you have unary operator. Okay, unary, you know, that means what? It's one. So unary operator means there is just going to be one symbol in that. It is either plus or minus. Okay, and then we have arithmetic operators, then shift operators, relational operators, bitwise operators, logical operators, ternary operators, and assignment operators. So we'll look one by one each of this. So what are unary operators? They are operators which work on only one operand. Okay, so only one value it is going to work. So plus and minus are the unary operators in Java. So here if you can see, you can plus plus, it's an increment operator, minus minus is a decrement operator, and negate and operate. Negate means we are putting a minus sign. See, the word negate means just the minus sign. So don't get confused with the word. It just means it's a minus sign. Negate means putting a minus sign before the number. Decrement, decreasing. In maths we say decreasing value. That means it is minus, it's coming down. Increment, that means it is plus plus, it is increasing, if you're just adding. So here when we are having, for example, a plus plus, that means what? The value of a is actually incremented to 1. A is equal to a plus 1. Okay, so for example, if I'm going to have the a here and I'm going to put the 4 here, and if I'm going to say a plus plus here, that means the next time the value of a has increased to 1. That means a has become 5. And if I'm going to put a minus minus, a minus minus, that means what? A is equal to a minus 1. That means here it is 5 here. Let me take this one only. It has subtracted 1. So it is going to become 4. Yes, so this is a shorthand notation. If we write this, not all our for loops, we write a plus plus, I plus plus and all. So that means what? Increment to 1. If I say this, it is, I mean, if you just take up this example of this, it becomes easier. These videos actually I have already posted about unary operators how to do the increment and decrement expression, that is prefix expression and postfix expression, how to evaluate 2 marks questions. I've already posted in my videos. Please watch that. All the important paper questions are already posted in my videos, because I was actually putting it for the upcoming 2020 exam. The exam got cancelled, but that's okay. You can always look at those examples and learn. And now we have these binary operators. So binary operators are like these arithmetic operators. They are classified as unary operators and binary operators. Here these operators work on 2 operands. So here I told you earlier also, the values are known as operands. So here A and B are operands. Okay, they are actually representing the operands, and the plus is a symbol. It's a sign, isn't it? So they are what? They are operators. So between 2 operands, when you're having a symbol, they are known as binary operators. So you are having all these as the examples of binary operators, that is plus, minus, asterisk, division symbol, and then modulo symbol, etc. So arithmetic operators, these are what was actually classified as that. So you have the plus for addition, minus for subtraction, and then the asterisk. This is called as asterisk. This is for multiplication, and this is your division symbol, the quotient. Okay, it is next to your shift symbol on the keyboard, and then modulo. It reminds the remainder, the percentage symbol. It's on 5. Okay, the number 5. What is the symbol? That is the percentage symbol. That is known as modulo operator, and it returns the remainder. So what's the difference between these two? It's a common question. Okay, what's the difference between a division and a modulo symbol? So division, for example, if I'm going to take a number, say 7, and then I put 4 here. Okay, 4 ones are 4. What's this I'm getting? I'm getting 3. So the division will return a quotient. So which is a quotient here? This one. So it is going to return the value 1. And here this is going to return a remainder. So which is the remainder here? 3. So this is also a 2-mark question which is asked. What is the difference between a division symbol and this symbol, the modulo symbol? Then you should say that the division returns the integer quotient, the modulo returns the remainder. But if you have declared the variable as a float, it is going to give you a proper decimal number. But for our programs, especially the number programs, we will be using these 2 operators extensively. So know this difference in advance, so that then when you are doing those programs, it becomes easier. Okay, and then we have relational operators. See, the word itself says relational. So it is going to compare something. Okay, for example, he is my brother, she is my sister. So we are having a relationship, isn't it? Which means that, okay, there is some kind of a link between you and that other person. So likewise here also, relational operators is going to get two values, and then it is going to check what is it going to do. So there are 6 relational operators in Java. What are they? You have less, less than, or equal to. See here, I'll come to that. Greater than or equal to, and double equal to. Okay, double equal to is your normal equal to which you use in maths, and not equal to. Okay, the exclamation symbol there is not equal to. So here, one thing you have to remember is, in maths, yes, we are used to writing less and one symbol like this, less than, equal to. But tell me, can you find this symbol on the keyboard? No. Yes, so you cannot write less than, equal to like this. Even in your programs, please don't practice writing like this, because we don't have a computer on your exam day to check this, isn't it? So you have to write less than, equal to as 2 separate symbols. Is this clear? You have to remember this for relational operators. Okay, now we have logical operators. Logical operators are 3 types. One is logical and, logical or, and logical not. So you can see here the symbols. So this is an ampersand, a double ampersand symbol. Okay, and then we have a piping symbol. The 2 lines that you see, they are the piping symbol, and the exclamatory mark that we see here is known as the logical not symbol. So how does this logical operators work? So let me say that this is one common example that I give to my students and which they really enjoy, and it really takes off 10 minutes of the class time, but then it's really nice because they all participate, they have some fun for 10 minutes, and then we go back to the lesson. So here we having the ampersand. The ampersand works when only both the conditions are true. Yes. So I ask them like, what is your favorite dish? So they say, some say masala dosa, and then I ask what is another famous dish that you like, and some say, let us say like they like ice cream. Now I tell them, you go to a restaurant and then you want masala dosa and ice cream. Yes, you want to go to that restaurant and you go and find out whether you want to eat masala dosa and ice cream. Now the shopkeeper says, the hotel owner says, I have the masala dosa, but I don't have the ice cream. Then these two conditions are not true. You come out of the shop. No, I want this only. I'm going to eat this only. So two conditions are not true. Now you go to the second hotel, and there also they say, okay, I have only ice cream, I don't have this masala dosa. You say, no, I'm not going to go into this place. And then you go to the third hotel, you are very lucky, they're having both the masala dosa and the ice cream. Then what happens here? Then the result is true. You walk in, have your masala dosa, have your ice cream, and you come out. So your logical AND works like this. Is it clear? So if the conditions, both the conditions are true, then the result is true. Now let us look at the logical OR. Logical OR, let me say that I want to have tea or coffee. Okay, either of it is okay. I go to some house and they are telling me, do you want to have tea or coffee? I say either of it you give, no problem. Yes, so the logical OR works when either of the conditions is true. So they say, okay, we have tea, we usually have tea. Okay, I'll say, okay, give me tea, I will have that itself. And then some house they say that, okay, no, we will have coffee. Okay, give coffee. So either of it is fine. Yes, so if neither of it is there, let us imagine that you go into a house and they say, we don't have tea, we don't have coffee. Okay, then both the conditions are not true. Then the result is going to be false. Okay, so if you apply the same logic to your logical expressions, for example, if A is equal to 10 and B is equal to 10, A and A will give you true. But if you say A is equal to 10 and B is equal to 5, A or B, then it is going to be true again because either of the conditions is true in OR. So that's how these logics work. And not is very interesting. Yes. So simple example, when your mother says don't do this, you want to do it. When she says do this, you don't want to do it. So not is just going to work opposite. Yes. So if I'm going to say I like bitter gourd curry, then that means what? I don't like bitter gourd curry. So hope you understood this logical and or and not. This keeps coming in all your expressions where you need to evaluate. So we'll take some few examples of it later. Now we have some more operators. So you have this less than, greater than symbols. These are known as shift operators. And then you have these ampersand, a single ampersand and a exponent symbol and a piping, one single piping symbol. These are known as bitwise operators. So these two operators are actually used for your bitwise operations or for your low level operations in Java. Because when you want to do bitwise programming, these operators are used. This is not there in your scope of study, so you don't have to worry too much about this. But then you have to know these operators, these names of these operators and these symbols, because it is still now not asked, but then it may be asked for 1 mark, then you should be aware of this. And then we have the question mark and the colon. So these are known as ternary operators. So this is also quite important. I have actually put a video on this, how to solve these problems on using ternary operators. Watch them. In my previous video it is there. So here if you see ternary operators, see the word ternary means 3. So it is going to work on 3 operands. Okay. For example, you may have it like this. Okay. Like let me say A greater than B, and then you have the question mark 10, and then you have a colon, and then we say 20. So here how this works actually is A is greater than B. If the condition is true, whatever is there after this 10 will be evaluated if the condition is true. If A is not greater than B, then this condition will be evaluated. So if you see there are three operands here, A greater than B, and then 10, and then 20. So because there are three operands, it is known as ternary operator. Okay. Next, we have equal to symbol. In maths we have, isn't it? A equal to 5, B equal to 20, C equal to 15. I mean, there are so many equal to, we use it in maths. That means the value of A is 5, 10, 15. But here, this equal to is known as assignment operator. It is mainly used with variables. For example, if I say int A is equal to 10, that means the variable A is going to store this value 10 in it. Okay, I'll be doing a video on variables alone. I'll explain to that how this actually works. But for the time being, you understand assignment operator is whatever is being stored here. Okay, let me write here int A equal to 10. So here, what it actually means here is there is a box called as a memory box, a storage box, and in this I have stored this value 10. So whatever is there on your right hand side, okay, is being stored onto the left hand side. It is not like your max where you say A is equal to 10 means the value of A becomes 10. Here, these are variables. They are named memory locations. So this assignment operator is used for this purpose. Hope you understood this. Now, another 2 marks question. They ask you, what is operator precedence? So operator precedence means the order in which the operators are evaluated. Okay, the order in which the operators are evaluated. That means there should be a particular way in which we are going to calculate these operators in an expression. That is known as operator precedence. So I have given an example here. You can observe. So here we have 2 plus 3 into 5. Now I can do 2 plus 3. I will get the value here 5. And then I have 5 into 5. I can get the answer as 25. Okay. And here if you observe, I can do 2 and I can do 3 into 5, which is equal to 15. So 2 plus 5, 15 will be equal to 17. So there are two different answers. Now our computer is a machine. It knows only steps. It knows, okay, it has to do in this particular order. It cannot go and do however it wants. Yes, like our mind, which is fickle mind, we can think like this, we can think like that. Anything we can do, but computer needs steps. So here the computer will follow a particular rule to calculate the expressions. So that is known as operator precedence. Is it clear? So this is also a 2 mark question. So this word here, the order. The order in which the operators are evaluated in an expression is called operator precedence. So again, the precedence I'm going to show you a table where the higher precedence, that is which is going to be evaluated first. Higher precedence means which will in an expression which particular values will be evaluated, symbols will be evaluated first. That is known as higher precedence, and which will be appearing on the top of the table. And the operators with the lower precedence will be evaluated at the bottom of the table. So here we are having the table. You can see this. So wherever the brackets are there, the parentheses are there. Okay, the brackets are known as parentheses. So this parentheses are there. Then that will be evaluated first in an expression. Okay, and then square brackets for arrays, dot for member selection. So as you are learning the language, you will be learning all this significance of these different operators. But for the time being, you just understand. First, it is the parentheses, the brackets, and then you have the increment, decrement operators, and then you have the arithmetic operators here, the addition, subtraction, the exclamation, and this is the unary bitwise complement. You don't have to worry about these unary numbers and things like that. The bitwise complement for and things like that. Okay, and then you have the multiplication, division, and modulo. So if you observe that all this is put in one box because all these three are going to have the same level of precedence. I'll tell you what it is. And then we are having addition and subtraction. Then we have the bitwise shift operators. And then we have the relational operators. Then we have logical and not, and the ternary operators and the assignment operators. Though it may look a little complicated, you have to just I mean, this may be asked for 2 marks again, like which has got a higher precedence, whether the logical hand has a higher precedence or the question mark, the ternary operator has higher precedence. So you can see in this table, this is first evaluated and then this will be evaluated. And in the last, this will be evaluated. So this you should be a little bit aware of, but you can skip out these bitwise and instance of and all, which is not generally used in our programs. So we have a term associated with operator precedence that is known as associativity. So what do you mean by associativity? See, operators in the same group, okay? So I was telling you, the plus, the division and the modulo, they are all in the same level of group. So then the order in which the operators of the same precedence are evaluated in an expression is known as associativity. So here, if you observe 2 into 8, this is a multiplication symbol, asterisk symbol, divided by 3. So I can do it as 16 by 3. 16 by 3, I told you the difference between the division operator and the modulo operator. So here 16 by 3, if it's an integer division which you are doing, okay. So here if it is 3 5s are 15. So if you're doing a decimal, it will give you the appropriate value, 5.3 or something. 6 is giving you the remainder 1. We'll not worry about that now. So we'll just take this 5. So it gives me the answer 5. Or if I'm going to do this 2 into 8, if I do 8 divided by 3, okay. So I'm putting 3 out and 8 inside this. So if I'm going to say 3 2s are 6, so you can see that it is giving me the quotient as 2, which I have put here. So 2 into 2 is how much? It is 4. So both multiplication and division are on the same level of precedence. But when this happens, you are going to evaluate from left to right. So which is there on the left? You have this multiplication symbol and then the division symbol. So this will be evaluated first. So this is the correct answer. Okay, this you need to remember also. So if I'm going to see here, can you see this? This is the associativity, left to right, multiplication, division and modulo. Hope you understood this. And then we come to the last token, the separators. Yes, so you can see that I've given some examples here, common real world examples. You have these numbers which are separated by a symbol like this in max. So these are all separators, and then you have the T filter where we're going to filter the T and have. And you can see here in I've given some English sentences. So you can see a colon and a colon here. So it is separating these two sentences. What came first, the chicken or the egg? It's a constant question, isn't it? Constantly unchanged question, maybe I could say, but whatever it is. What came first, the chicken or the egg? So you can see this colon here, the symbol here. Yes, we are only talking about symbols now. So this is known as a separator, separating both sentences. So likewise in our Java also, we have some symbols which are known as separators. So they are the tokens in Java which is used to define the structure of a program. So we have to write the program in a particular way. As I told you earlier, we have the keywords which we are going to use those words to write the program. So there is a particular format while writing the programs in Java. So for that, we should know these separators. So these brackets, which we commonly use the word brackets everywhere, but these brackets which you see here, these are known as opening parenthesis. Okay, there are 9 separators when you are separating these two again. So this is opening and closing parenthesis. And then these are the braces, opening braces or curly braces or flower brackets, they are known. So this we will be using a lot in our programs. And then we have the opening square bracket and closing square bracket for the arrays. And we have a comma, the English comma. Yes, here also when you are putting different variable names, you can put a comma. And then we have the dot operator or period operator when we have to call the function, when you have to access the member functions of the class. And then we have a semicolon. So the semicolon is known as a statement terminator. So to end of the statement, like if I write int a, for example, I need to put a semicolon. Just like we have the full stop in English to end the statement, we have a semicolon here, which is known as statement terminator. That's a 1-mark question. They ask you what is the statement terminator in Java. You just put a semicolon, you get 1 mark. Cool, isn't it? Yes. So this is all about all these tokens. Please be thorough with them. Learn them well. Learn the definitions, examples, and just practice some few simple programs. And then you will be thorough writing programs. You will not make many errors or mistakes while writing programs. So these are a few review questions which I have put in here. What are tokens? Name the tokens in Java. The smallest individual unit of a program, the 5 tokens, keywords, literals, identifiers, operators and separators. And then 2 rules for naming literals. Any 2 rules. They cannot begin with a digit. They have to begin with a character. They cannot have blank space between them. And then they cannot be keywords. Any 2 rules you can learn. What is the difference between integer literal and real literal? Integer literal is the one which takes whole numbers, and real literals are the one which take decimals or fractions. And what is the difference between character literal and string literal? I explained in detail. You just look it through. What are operators? They are the symbols. Operands are the values. Different types of operators in Java. I've broadly explained to you that. And what is meant by operator precedence? The order in which the operators are evaluated. Difference between equal to and double equal to symbol. That's one is assignment, another is relational. So equal to is going to assign the value from left hand side to from right hand side to left hand side, and double equal to is to compare two values. Okay, 5 equal to 5 is going to return the value as true. Name any 4 separators in Java. Anything you want to write, dot, comma, curly braces. Okay, what is ternary operators? Question mark and colon. You just need to explain that. Okay, so here we have done with this. This is an important concept in Java. Please learn. There are many 2 marks questions which come through this, and there are few evaluation of expressions also in this, and most of it I think I've already explained in my previous videos. Just check it out. Hope you like this video. If you like, please share and subscribe to your family and friends. It will be useful for them also. Thank you for watching.